Hey, everybody, it's Ron Johnson, and this is the Ron Johnson Show on Locked On Sports Minnesota. I'm excited to talk about the Minnesota Vikings because you know what? When you get to sleep on it, you have time to think about it. And last week, we posed a question to the fans after the Thursday night game, 6-2 or 5-3. We'll get your thoughts, but also me and Sam will talk about that next, coming up on the Ron Johnson Show.
Locked On Sports Minnesota podcast. It's endless Minnesota Vikings talk with the diverse voices of your local experts. Now the Ron Johnson Show. On the field, in the broadcast booth, Ron Johnson is Minnesota sports. He's played with them, hung out with them, and grown up with all the big names in Minnesota sports. They're hanging out with Ron Johnson. It's the Ron Johnson Show on the Locked On Sports Minnesota podcast. And it starts now.
Hey, everybody, it's Ron Johnson. Thank you for joining me on the Ron Johnson Show today. For those watching on YouTube, welcome. Amazon Fire, Roku, glad you're here. For those that just downloaded the podcast content, we appreciate that as well. Please make sure you subscribe to Locked On Sports Minnesota on whatever platform you're using. But of course, if you have not watched the show, please jump over to YouTube because every time we have a big guest, there's always some cool things that happen. And today's show is one of those shows. I got a chance to be on campus in the Hall of Fame room, myself in the Hall of Fame. Laurence Maroney, former Gophers running back, first-round pick, is going to join me in the Hang Around Johnson segment. But you got to see the chaos around us with his kids. You're going to want to watch that on YouTube. The podcast doesn't do it justice. You want to see the video, so make sure you head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. You'll get all of our shows, our postcasts after every Gophers and Vikings game. We break down all the things, whether they win or lose. We're going to bring you the best content possible and give you what our thoughts are about the game, immediate, cut up in a vein, and tell you what's going on. But on today's episode, as I brought this up before, we got to talk about the Minnesota Vikings now. They took a loss, and it was a tough loss because it's a game you feel like they should have won. But also, Puka Nacua came back, Cooper Kupp, we'll talk about that. But the referees, we know it, everybody, the whole nation, unless you were sleeping and unless you have not been on the online or have not watched the TV or have not talked to anybody that lives in Minnesota or LA, you have no idea what's going on. We'll talk about this phantom face mask or real face mask, according to the referees. But I posed a question. After this game against the Colts, will the Vikings be 5-3 or will they be 6-2? And there's a lot of things now after sleeping on it that I've kind of had a chance to sit back and think. I was skeptical Friday. I just did not know. But there's something that's changed my mind a little bit. Not so much about the Vikings, but about their opponent. But before we jump into the show, I want everybody to know today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Just place your first $5 bet and you'll get started. And you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets. So you place a $5 bet, they're going to give you $200. You can't find a deal like that. That's like going to the grocery store and you buy one apple and they give you 10. That doesn't happen. And then those 10, you can't eat them right away, but you can go out and you can probably get more stuff with those apples and then you can eat that. That's how this works, people. $5, you get $200 in bonus bets. Place those bets on anything, and then that's all free money. You're playing with house money now. But make sure you visit FanDuel.com to get started. Also, check out our Friday show. We always love to give you guys our locks of the week. That's a perfect place to find out where to put your $5 at because for the most part, I know I am pretty dead on with a lot of my locks, and a lot of it has to do with Justin Jefferson. He's an easy way to go if you're looking for a $5 lock to put some money down on Justin Jefferson. And one of his easy plus 120, 130 bets. Those are the easy ones. Justin Jefferson has been killing it. But as I bring my producer to the show, Sam Ekstrom, we got to get started with this. 6-2, 5-3. And that was the big question on Friday's show. We're going to visit it again this Friday. I just want to see where everybody's at after sleeping on it. Everybody was super positive. Everybody was 6-2 except for me. I just didn't know. But I don't know, Sam. After I see a quarterback tap his own helmet and say, I need to come out on third down, not first down, not say, like I can see if you get like a long 60-yard run, it's first down and 10, and you're like, I just need one play, man. Go and run this first down play for me. No, third down. This man tapped out on third down, the most critical play of the game, the most critical play of a drive, and the quarterback taps out because he's like, man, I just was running a lot. I was tired. I just didn't know what to do. So I tapped. Bruh, you are not the receiver. You are not a running back. Offensive lineman can't even tap out. Like they know like this. Let's imagine the center, Sam. The center runs a long screen down the field. He runs 50 yards with the running back. Him and Aaron Jones are celebrating. And then you see your starting center is like, hey, coach, can you get another center in here for me? I'm tired. No, there's no, you can't come. And you're the quarterback. The backup normally doesn't play unless you get hurt. There is no plan for the quarterback to tap out. Receivers are allowed to tap out. Defensive backs are allowed to tap out. Linebackers and defensive linemen are allowed to tap out. That's just how it works on defense. Receivers run a lot of long routes. Reggie Wayne would do that all the time. He would tell me, he's like, hey, man, if I do this, this, and this, he would give me 3 things. Get me out the game. He's like, and then when I come out the game, because sometimes he wants to come out and sometimes he doesn't, but when he comes out, then tell him you did this, this, and this. And so Reggie Wayne and I had that agreement because I was like, literally, I'm like, dude, you're Reggie Wayne. Like, I'm in my 30s. You're in your 30s. Like, this was towards I was 29. So I'd have been 29. He would have been 30. And I'm like, at that point in Reggie Wayne's career, him and Marvin Harrison were already who they were. Peyton Manning was what he was. I can't tell Reggie Wayne. Like, what am I going to do? What am I telling Reggie Wayne? Like, you're not doing that good, man. Like, no. So I went to Reggie and I asked Tony Dungy this. I'm like, Tony, like, how do I coach these guys? Because they're my age. Reggie, Marvin, the other guys like Roy Warhol we've had on, and he talked about his and I relationship. Pierre Garçon, they were younger. They were rookies. Easy to pour into them. But the 30-year-olds, 31-year-olds, 32-year-olds, what? Dude, we're the same age. Y'all older than me by a year. We went to college. We played college football together. And so for Reggie, and I went to Tony, and Tony's like, look, when I was a coach, and I didn't know this story, but I'm glad he told it to me because I never put the timeline together. He was a 77 Steeler, played for a couple years with Super Bowls, won the Super Bowls with the Steelers, left, went to the 49ers, got cut, comes back. Chuck Noll offers him a job to coach. Well, he's coaching with the Steelers. He just played with Ron Johnson, Mel Blount, Donnie Shell, Rocky Block. Like, Dungy was like, look, I was in your position one time. Chuck Noll brought me in to coach DBs, and I'm looking at Mel Blount, Hall of Famer. I'm looking at Donnie Shell, Hall of Famer. I'm looking at your dad. He was the starting cornerback, first-round draft pick. What do I tell these guys? And Chuck Noll just said, you tell them what you see, but you ask them what they need. And that was the best advice I'd ever got. Tony Dungy told me. So I went to Reggie. I was like, look, what you need from me? Like, what do you need? Because I'm here for you. You tell me. I same with Marvin. What do you need? You tell me. And Reggie told me. Marvin told me. And that was one thing receivers can do. They can tap out. Running backs, tap out. Quarterback? Heck no. So, Sam, after seeing that with Anthony Richardson, one, I question his mental toughness. That's a mental tough thing there. I question that. Two, and I saw Dan Orlovsky tweet this today, the film doesn't do his stats justice. His stats are not great, but the film is not what you think it's going to be. The film is not bad. Now, I don't know. I'm going to watch it today because I got to watch it. That's my job because we got to do our show. And we got to do our film segment this week. I'm looking forward to that. And so when I break down the film, I'm going to look. I'm going to see what I see. And then I might rebuttal Dan Orlovsky. Like, you're a liar. Show me. But I want to watch it. I do want to watch it because that's what I have to do. I usually break down the offense so that I can kind of break down what Brian Flores is going to see, or vice versa. I'll go off the defense and say, this is how Kevin O'Connell can attack the Colts. Pete Bursis and I do this. But Sam, after seeing that, the 4-4 record, Joe Flacco being bought in on third down, coach, I mean, you can't bench him because people are like, oh, bench him and just let Flacco play. That might happen. I'm nervous about Flacco because he's a winner. But if Anthony Richardson plays, I mean, young quarterbacks, I think one of you guys brought that up. He flusters, or maybe Pete Bursis did. Brian Flores gets after young quarterbacks. Like he confuses them no matter how good they are. They get confused. Older quarterbacks like Joe Flacco, who's a statue, he probably can figure out a way to pick Brian Flores apart because he's like, I'm not running, so let me figure out this defense. With that said, Sam, I am safe to say 6-2 now. I'm on the 6-2 train.
All right.
The Colts are as good as what I thought they were going to be. What are your thoughts on that now after you were already on the train, but like, what are your thoughts going into this game? Because now we've had time to flush away the Rams footage. We know the face mask, people. Like, that's the one thing to bury the tease. There was a face mask. If you didn't see it at the end of the game, Vikings face mask or Sam Darnold's face mask gets grabbed. If he throws the flag 15 yards, not a huge chunk of yardage, but definitely not in his own end zone anymore. A little bit more time to think about that play. You get time to walk up as the refs have to walk it up. Kevin O'Connell can dial up 2 to 3 plays. It changes the scope of the game. Maybe they don't win, but maybe they do. We've seen crazier things. Jaden Daniels, the Bears idiot, and I'm not going to, idiot. Number 29. You're a dummy. He's standing over there taunting the fans and the play is going on and he still doesn't realize they snapped the ball because he's so far away. He turns around like, oh, what? And then instead of him doing his job because he's not paying attention and running to the back of the end zone and dealing with the backside receiver, so if it does get tipped, he can knock it down. He runs his jolly happy self into the middle of the pile, and there's already 2 guys in the middle, and he gets the highest because he's hyped up and he's acting a fool and bats the ball back. It's all his fault. It is your fault. Now, 12 seconds is crazy. The holding, we know that's going to happen. Jaden Daniels got the Aaron Rodgers treatment on Hail Marys. It is what it is. The Patrick Mahomes treatment on Hail Marys. It is what it is. But we did see a miracle. Miracle could happen. So could Sam Darnold have done that? Yes, he could have. The Vikings could have done that with Justin Jefferson easily. The Rams defense definitely was vulnerable. We know that. They had shown it earlier in the game. I think it was coming back with the no huddle, and he was going to matriculate down the field and score a touchdown. That's what was going to happen. But it didn't happen because the referees didn't see it. But I don't know, Sam, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so the Colts thing is interesting because they're in every game, even though Richardson is not playing good football. They're in every single game, 1-possession games, every single game this year, all 8 of them. Fun little trivia I unveiled on the football party yesterday. This is the first 6-game stretch that a quarterback has been below 45% completion percentage since Tim Tebow in 2011. This is historically bad stuff from an accuracy standpoint. Now, his legs will hurt you.
Correct.
But what I'm taking away from the tap out is that he is easily frustrated. He was not playing well in that game, Ron. At one point, he was 2 of 15. You think if he's 15 of 15, he's tapping out? No, He was discouraged. He was discouraged by how poorly it was going. He threw a huge interception before halftime. I can't remember what point in the game the tap out happened, but I think he was beaten down. And who's a defensive coordinator that'll beat you down is Brian Flores with the looks he's going to give you, the pressure he's going to put on you. He's going to blitz him 50% of the time. Another stat on Richardson is that he has a 53 passer rating when he's forced to throw the ball in less than 2.5 seconds. So if you force the ball out, you're winning. So it's all about applying pressure and not letting him get out wide, not letting him run with his legs. If you can contain him, spy on him, and make sure that he has to throw the ball quickly, I think you're going to win this game easily.
Yeah, and so when you think about that with Anthony Richardson, I was trying to look it up quick and see, where he was at. But and what you said right there, Brian Flores. Now, let's be real, Matthew Stafford, there wasn't a lot handled there. But Pete Burchers and I broke down some plays on the follow-up show on Sunday about the Vikings in the film, and the couple things that we saw were I call it over disguise. So the fact that you disguised it so much, it throws your players off a little bit to be able to just play coverage that they should be playing. And the one that really sticks out in my head is Jonathan Gilmore is
Stephon Gilmore.
Stephon Gilmore. I don't know what Jonathan Gilmore. Oh, Jonathan Gilmore was the tight end for Penn State, played for the Bears with me.
That's a good pull.
Stephon Gilmore. Yeah, I know. That I was like, where's Jonathan Gilmore from? Oh, yeah, tight end for Penn State. Stephon Gilmore runs across with Tyler Johnson, but instead of chasing Tyler Johnson on the motion, he runs to the back and points to Shaq Griffin, saying, "You take Tyler, I'm going to take the back," which means I got Tutu Atwell back half. Well, they were showing man to show a switch, but then they were getting into cover 2. Here's the problem with that. You got a nickel corner playing bump corner in 2. You got a corner playing half safety. And this is all in the Brian Flores Frankenstein defense and trying to be, cute and show. Stephon Gilmore doesn't really know how to play cover 2 safety truly, because it was way too much space between him and the nearest receiver, which the nearest receiver in the slot was Tutu Atwell. There's no reason to get that deep, and Atwell has not threatened you yet. Now, one, Gilmore might be scared of his speed, But two, you have a middle of the field, or sorry, another half field safety on the other side. So if he runs a deep post, that guy has it. If he runs a seam route, you just got to run with it and break it up. That's the least likeliest play to be completed, a deep up the seam or a deep up the middle go. He ran a corner route, and there wasn't a guy within 5 yards of him. Shaq Griffin did try to undercut it, but because he wasn't playing the true cover two and was kind of no man's land, he couldn't get to it. Like, I would have let him make that throw to Tyler Johnson, take away the corner route, so get depth, let Tyler be wide open by himself in the flat, because that doesn't kill you. That you can run up, make the tackle, and it's probably 4th and 2. But by doing the way he did it, they completed like a 15 to 20-yard pass to the corner route to Tutu Atwell, move the sticks. And so little things like that about not knowing who to give up, when to give up what, that's the only thing about this defense that threw me off a little bit. And so when I looked at, the Indianapolis Colts, and you look at the play calling, and can they end up in this situation, or can they get you out of these situations? And I never saw what happened though, Sam. When he tapped out, did they actually sub him out, or like what ended up happening there? They did. So they actually subbed him out.
Flacco came in, handed the ball off. And then I don't know if it was a punt or a field goal after that, but yeah, Flacco came in.
Wow. That's amazing to me, because when I'm looking at the play call and I'm just trying to see at what point was that, because it looks like I'm looking at all the third downs and Richardson's still in. Anthony Richardson sacked, 23-yard loss. Jonathan Taylor shotgun tackle, field goal there. I don't know if that was it or not, but it says
it was right after a couple scrambles, if you can find that.
So he scrambled, okay,
on the rundown,
because I know he ran one. I was looking for like a run, and then he's not in the game anymore. But these are all like fourth quarter stuff. Like, so I didn't know if it was earlier in the game or late in the game, or what, because everything here is showing scramble, third down. He's still in the game. So that's why I was just confused. It must have been early.
I think it's this one. I think it's third quarter. Richardson sacked for no gain, and then on 3rd and 23, Jonathan Taylor for 5 yards, and then they kicked a field goal. So that's what's crazy, Ron, is that they're in field goal range. You could have thrown. This isn't a punt situation. You could have thrown for the end zone. It's a third down in scoring range.
Right.
You could have gone for a touchdown.
Right. That's the one I was looking at. It doesn't say who was in at quarterback. So that's why I saw Jonathan Taylor off tackle for 5 yards. And they're on their they're in the red zone. They're on the Houston 23. So yeah, it could have been a red zone deep throw. Could have been him running, maybe getting even more yardage out of it. Like, yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. Oh, it was third. Would that have been 3rd and goal then? Because 1st and 10, 2nd and 8, 2nd and 13, 2nd and 23. No, they're dumb. Oh yeah, 1st and 10 from the 10. So yeah, the first down was technically the goal line. So it was 1st and 10 from the 10, and then there was 1st and 10 from the 1st and 10. So yeah, it was a decent little look. Like, it looks like it was no huddle. So it was no huddle, and that's what was going on. Because they took a timeout. So he had already had a timeout though, and that's what's dumb. He had a timeout in the third quarter after the 2nd and 8, because he went 1st and 10, 28-yard pass, no huddle, handed off to Jonathan Taylor, 2nd and 8, shotgun. Somebody was injured, so they took an injury timeout there. So he has time to rest there. 2nd and 13, looks like it was touchdown, but it was nullified by penalty on Pittman for offensive pass interference. So he did throw a touchdown, backed it up to 2nd and 23. He sacked for 0 yard, 23. So he ran around. He must have run around, got sacked, 0 yard, got back to the line of scrimmage. And then it looks like 3rd and 23, handoff to Jonathan Taylor for 5 yards, field goal. So yeah, that's not even a lot. That to me is just mental. That's mental. And you said at that point he was 2 for 15.
It was he was 2 for 15 right before halftime, and this is early in the third quarter, so it's probably around there.
Okay.
He was hurting at that point. I think they were down by 10. He'd been struggling mightily, completely frustrated.
Yeah, because he went 10 for 32, 175 yards. He had a 48.3 passer rating, which is not good at all. And so, like when I see all that, I just got to say the Vikings 6-2. But we got to jump into this next segment. Laurence Maroney joined me on the Hang Around Johnson segment. For those that were at the Gopher game, homecoming was great. I got honored on the field. It was a fun time just to be there, to be out there with the team. Laurence talked about coming back, and he didn't want to come back. There's a picture that you guys will see of us on the field, and he's on the field with the 22 jersey, but it has number 21 as well on it. So it's a Barberoni is what he's calling the jersey. It's Marion Barber and Laurence Maroney is what they went by. And so 21's on the back, 22's on the front, kind of a cool jersey the Gophers put together for him. But Laurence Maroney joins me on the Hang Around Johnson segment. And I'm looking forward to that.
Before we get to Laurence, let me tell you about Game Time. Today's sponsor, Game Time Picks, makes getting tickets extremely easy to all your favorite live events, whether it is sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and plenty more. You can get into Target Center tonight. Wolves Mavericks, Western Conference Finals rematch. Huge game, early season for the Timberwolves. Check out how to get in at Game Time. Game Time Picks curates the best possible seats, makes the process really easy. Toggle on the all-in pricing so there's no hidden fees. Get a great panoramic view from your seat. The lowest price guarantee gives you 110% back if you find better tickets. And with Game Time's ticket coverage, you've got the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code Locked On for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time.
Now it's time for the Hang Around Johnson segment. I got Laurence Maroney back on campus for homecoming, man. So, Laurence, you were a guy I watched. When I played in the NFL, I saw you in college, man, and you were a guy that I was excited to see wear that maroon and gold, man. So being back on campus for homecoming like this, scores 48-10 right now.
For sure.
How does it feel for you?
It's an amazing feeling. It's a gift and a curse, man, because it's always good to come back and support, man. But, it's hard to come here when, my brother passed and knowing everything I built here was with him and he's no longer with us, man. So it'd be hard to come here sometimes, but I push through and I come and I keep supporting my school, keep supporting, and I'm always represent him. Every time you see me, you're going to see me with 21 on my chest because I definitely want to keep his legacy alive and what we did alive.
Man, and being out there, I know we got to go on the field today and be honored. Fans got to cheer, but you had the Barberoni jersey out there, man. And,
sure.
How did that feel? Because I saw the fans kind of erupt a little bit more when they realized what was going on and that you was not representing you and Marion. How does that feel to carry that legacy?
It feels great, man, because like I say, it took a while for me to even come back after I, got drafted because my whole thing was I wanted to come back with him. You know what I'm saying? The recognition we had, I didn't get by myself. I got with him. And so it's like I didn't want to share it by myself. I didn't want the chairs and everything by myself. I wanted to one day come through that tunnel, me and him, and watch this place erupt. And so, I'm not going to get that moment. So, like I say, the jersey, the university made for me, which was a blessing, it's an honor. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. And so, this is the way that I come back to the stadium with Marion every time.
And looking at you being a former Gopher, played in the NFL, but what are game memories when you think about being in a game, being at you were way back in the Metrodome days like
For
me.
Sure.
But what are some memories?
You was on AstroTurf.
I was. You had real turf.
I had 1 year. Freshman year, I had almost gonna rip your skin off. I had 1 year with it, but to your point, it's everything, man. You got to think about it, man. Me and Marion made so many memories, man, and just walking around talking to the fans, man, telling me how great I was, and even getting to come this year and do it with my boys, my sons, and let them to see how special their daddy is. Because no matter how much I tell them, I'm just gonna be daddy to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But just for them to hear the great words these people saying about me, especially my youngest son that got my name, and to carry this legacy going. Like I say, me and Mary, we made so many great memories. We'll be here all day on this interview if I really went down the line, because every game was a memory. Every game, me and him came out, we put on, we rushed for over 100. So it's like, at this point, Ron John, you just pick a game and I'll tell you a memory.
So I'm gonna take you to one then. So
Okay.
you think about the Michigan game,
Freshman year.
you had Michigan, man.
I knew that was coming.
Like, how was that? Because again, beating teams like Michigan, Wisconsin, so on and so forth. But how was that your freshman year against Michigan?
So you got to think about it. I was young, man. I didn't, I was still wet behind the ears, as y'all said. So to me, I didn't really know the significance really until afterwards. Like I heard them talking stuff because I wasn't even a starter. I wasn't even the guy yet.
Right.
Marion was still the guy, and I'm just happy to be here, just trying to do anything to win, man. And to take the comeback and for us to lose being up 21 points in the fourth quarter, that was devastating. You know what I'm saying? There's no way we should have lost that game. Michigan was not a better team than us. We really beat ourselves, man. We rushed for over 400 yards rushing. They were saying, "Oh, y'all won't get over 100." You're right. We won't. We're going to get over 4. You know what I'm saying? And still to lose that close game by 3, man, it was just like, that was a hard pill to swallow.
And you played with Tom Brady.
Sure.
You played with some greats. But what is one thing when you think about quarterback, a guy like Tom Brady, season you guys had, coming to the NFL, what was that experience like, being in the NFL with Tom Brady?
It was a pat on my back because it was one of those moments was like, oh, I made it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I was just a guy on the team. I was a real part.
You was the piece.
I was a real piece of the team. You know what I'm saying? And just to be there with guys like Brady, guys like Moss, Richard Seymour, Vince Wilfork, Rodney Harrison, Junior Seau, like we had a bunch of potential Hall of Famers, and even started my career off with Corey Dillon. I don't have your phone. Excuse me, y'all. We got LJ. Get out the way. But anyway, hey, listen, y'all gonna hear his name coming up in about 15 years. Please be on the lookout. But just being there, man, it was just like a sense of like, man, a little kid coming from St. Louis out of Normandy High School, playing with them type of guys. It was just like, man, I really did something positive with my life. It was just a testament to my hard work, my determination, my sacrifices that, I was even to be able to bless the field with them caliber of players, and to where it let me know that I had to be something to be on the field with that type of caliber of athletes, man, and just trying to hold my part, man. So it was an amazing experience. It was one that I would never forget, that, I'm always remember, because it was a blessing.
So Ron Johnson here with Laurence Maroney. Real quick before we get out of here, man, you got a chance to be back on campus. You've been back before we got inducted to the Hall of Fame. This is where we are right now, the Hall of Fame room at the University of Minnesota, Huntington Bank Stadium. We found your name on the wall over there. But you got a chance to come back this time and meet Darius Taylor, Mo Ibrahim. What is that like when PJ Fleck opens the doors up like that for you?
Oh, it's amazing, man. It was one of those, like I tell Fleck all the time, man, I promise you, I wish I played for you, because the energy he brings to this team and to this organization is like, if you were a true athlete, a true baller, you would love to play with a coach like that, man. And so it's just another testament to the footprint that I left here. You know what I'm saying? That says a lot to my skills and my ability and the production that I did here, because, a lot of people went here and they not opening the doors up like that for everybody. So that just shows you the hard work that I put in, and it went unnoticed. And he definitely opens the doors, welcome me every time, bring me in front of the team. Even when I don't want to talk, he makes me talk. So I appreciate every moment of it. And I say, more than anything, this year was the best year because I got to experience it with my sons.
And man, Sam, like catching up with Laurence Maroney, that was fun. But you know what, people? There was a part of this interview that I wasn't sure if I was going to play, but I got to play it for you. Lawrence's kids, for those that are watching the YouTube, if you haven't, please go back and watch the YouTube. You'll see a little bit of it because there's a moment where Lawrence's son walks in and he kind of, you guys heard it, but you got to see it. He's telling you guys be aware of his son in 15 years, which means he'll be around the age of 19, which is crazy to think about. I'll be 60. In 15 years. And so you think about 15 years from now, Laurence Maroney's son could be somewhere. I mean, this kid is a 5-year-old bowling ball. When you see him, you're going to watch the video and be like, this kid's not 5. He's a big kid. But I told him, I was like, you know what? Let me see what they think of dad. And we got a little bonus footage of the Maroney boys. It's Amir and Laurence Maroney Jr. And we'll give you that real quick. Ron Johnson here with the legacy of Laurence Maroney and Amir. And you guys get to see your dad. So how does it feel? First to you, because you're the older one. How does it feel to see your dad back on campus?
Well, I mean, it's exciting. I get to see him, like, I get to experience everything he went through, going through his football career, and yeah, just seeing his past and who he is.
And what about you? You're playing football too, and now you see what daddy was. How does that make you want to continue to play football?
Even more,
Even more.
see my daddy grow up, make a football game.
I love it. Well, there you heard it from the legacy of Laurence Maroney. You heard Laurence Maroney earlier. I'm Ron Johnson, and this has been the Ron Johnson Show. Make sure you guys tune in for the Daily 3. It's coming up next. And see what I'm saying, people? Like, I mean, when you get to see your dad on the field, when you get to see your dad being honored, you get to see videos talking about your dad was in the NFL, like to hear those two boys talk about it, man, that's what it's about. Like, it's about legacy. It's about your family. I know Laurence, talked about like, wanting to always come back to Minnesota with Marion Barber. And he thought, the goal was to come out of the tunnel together and the crowd erupts and they show highlights of Maroney and Barber. But man, we edited it out. You didn't hear it, but I did call him Marion Barber at one point. And I think that was just Marion's, like memory, man. Like Marion was there with us in that moment. For some reason, it felt like Marion was there. So that's why it just came out. And Laurence was like, because I was like, and now I'm here with Marion Barber, and he's like Laurence Maroney. so we edited it out, but you know what? Like I feel like in that moment, like as Laurence was talking, man, I could feel Marion's presence there. He was a freshman when I was a senior, so I got to play with Marion for a year. The kid was one of the best freshman running backs I'd ever seen, and so I'm just glad we got to do that. But now it's time for the Daily 3, but we'll do that after a word from our sponsors.
Today's show brought to you by FanDuel. A chance to cash in right now at FanDuel. Get a big return on your money with America's #1 sportsbook. Do you have a hunch? Are you new to FanDuel? Well, you can take that hunch and you can turn a $5 bet into $200 in bonus bets, regardless of whether your hunch pays off. Yes, $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet at FanDuel. Looking at the Timberwolves line tonight, -5 over the Mavs at home. I'm guessing that the Mavs, they don't like to play back-to-backs. They might bench some guys tonight. Good chance for the Timberwolves to move to 3-1. That money line's -196. Maybe get on that line now before the Mavs announce anybody not playing, like Luka, who I think sat out like 2 games last year against the Wolves. Get that line and all the lines from all the leagues at FanDuel Sportsbook. It's America's #1 sportsbook where you can make every moment more.
Well, Sam, it's time for the Daily 3. It's 3 questions, 3 minutes each. Take it away.
All right. I just gave you the line, Ron. Wolves favored by 5 against the Mavs. I don't know if everybody's playing for the Mavs. Let's say they all do play. Let's say that everyone's healthy, everybody plays. Who you got tonight?
So early on, we did the predictions. I thought it would be, Mavs. Like I just thought this would be a Mavs win. I didn't look and see though. Where are we at in our other 2 predictions? Because I thought that they would be 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure. I said they would beat the Raptors. I thought they would lose to the Kings, but they ended up beating the Kings. We know that. They beat the Raptors. They blew the Raptors out, so they're 2-0. So
2-0 in the week.
Yeah, I think I said 1 and 2 is what I think I said. I thought like the Kings and. But the Kings, come on now. We know that was a last minute. Like that could have went any direction. So the Wolves did pull it out. I'm feeling positive now. Like I feel like not to say like the Lakers. Lakers started off 3-0, and all of a sudden they lost on. LeBron missed he missed it on purpose. Sorry, he didn't miss it like because he couldn't. He missed it on purpose because they were down 3, and he made the first one. Wanted to miss the second one purposely. He had 6 seconds left. So I feel like early on, some of these teams are playing better than expected. I don't think everybody for the Mavs might play, and that's the only thing I'm thinking about. So I got to give this to the Wolves. I think the Wolves can pull it out. I did pick them as an early loss anyway to them, so if it happens, it happens. But maybe the 2-0 start is making me positive. I don't know. But I do want to see, like I said, I want to see more of this Julius Randle because, again, we know that he can't go 82 games like this. And so is there going to be, quote unquote, a pitch counter? Is it going to be load management nights for him because he is a bigger body guy? Those knees start to go first. The body starts to ache. This is early in the season. Everybody feels great. And then after, 10, 12, 15 games, some of these back-to-backs, that body starts to like, I don't know if I'm gonna get out of bed today. Let me sit this one out. So that's what I want to see. And also adverse moments. In these moments when it's tough, Do they fight or do they rely on Anthony Edwards? Because we know Karl-Anthony Towns were kind of like they had a relationship where Ant was the dominant talker. Julius Randle hasn't been in that with them. And we know Julius Randle has had like bench blowups before. Like he's been a guy that's willing to say something. He's been a guy that's willing to go at whoever. So I want to see it. And if there is an adverse moment, how does that fare for them with him? And can they get through those moments? That tells you a lot about a team because like when you would see LeBron blow up at the coach, you knew that coach is gone. LeBron ain't going nowhere. Like that coach is gone. And so I always wonder like that, if that happens, does Chris Finch right away be like, oh man, what did you do, Tim Conley? Like you killed my chemistry. Or do they all kind of say, hey, Ant, what we got here, man? Let's get through this. And that's the other part I want to see. But I think I might have to go with the Wolves. I don't know. What about you?
I also want to take the Wolves. I feel like the Wolves are maybe because they have a couple new guys. They got Randall, they got DiVincenzo. Maybe it's created some renewed hunger. I think there's a risk of being complacent when you come back with the same guys, but when you introduce some new dudes to the equation, I think it keeps you hungry. I'm going to go Wolves, and I think Luka will take the night off. I don't think Luka's going to play, but even if he does play, I like the Timberwolves tonight at home to move to 3-1 and 3-0 on the week. Next one, you touched on this in segment 1, but the Commanders' Hail Mary win over the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just your reaction to all of that with the Tyreek Stevenson bit, the miraculous throw by Daniels, the 13-second scramble. I mean, what was your reaction seeing that happen?
Crazy. I saw the holds. I knew the Bears fans would tweet that right away. There was some holds. I mean, questionable. They were double teams, and it didn't look like the defensive lineman was doing a great job of like fighting the double team. Like you got to like fall to the ground so that you can see the jersey grab. Like you can't just stand up and have your hand up and they're both like mugging you. As a ref, it doesn't look like you're trying to get out of that. It looks like you're tired because I think it was 12.3 seconds is the time that Jaden Daniels created. 12 point. So that's why who sacked the Vikings? What game was that? They were about to throw a last second shot. Who sacked them?
The Lions.
The Lions
game. They blitzed.
That's why you blitz. That's why you do that. If you blitz Jaden Daniels, the receivers don't. I never thought about that. I mean, I have, but I haven't. Like I didn't think that through. If you blitz him, you go man to man down the field. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have time to throw they don't have time to go set up at the 1 yard line. You need time for a Hail Mary. And if you blitz, you don't have time. And so that's why I understand that. And also blitz with a guy fast enough to chase the quarterback. Jaden Daniels can run. Sam Darnold can't. So you could blitz him with a linebacker. I mean, he can run, but he's not Jaden Daniels. But Jaden Daniels can run. So you got to blitz him with you got to bring an extra safety in the game. Forget those linemen. I would bring like small guys in to rush the quarterback. Forget those big dudes and have them all wide and then play like you can't touch me. You can't touch me game. Like I would run around for those watching on YouTube. You got it. Everybody at home, you don't know my moves. That's my Mike Epps when he was trying to run in one of his movies from Baby D. Sam doesn't know about that one. You don't know what movie Baby D was in with Mike Epps and Ice Cube. Friday. It was the movie Next Friday.
Right. Okay.
Next Friday, Mike Epps was trying to dodge. He's trying to dodge a girl because he's like, stop trying to. It was a girl too, and Ice Cube was like, dude, it's a girl. Stop being scared of a girl. Like he didn't want her to grab him. She was trying to beat him up. So he was trying to run from her. But that's what I would have put some little guys in to run, not little, but like bigger safeties, maybe faster linebackers and get those linemen out so that you could just run and try to make Jaden Daniels get the ball out of his hands quicker. 12.3 seconds is way too much time. It's way too much. I can run 100 yards in 12.3 seconds. So clearly you can run 50 yards. And they had time to set up. They had time to post up, get their spot, put up a lawn chair, put up a sign that says, this is my real estate. Here's my address. Here comes the ball. And number 29, first reaction, Sam, 29. Wow. And I know that all 22, I've been waiting for that all 22 to load up. I think it's going to be loaded up in like an hour. I've been waiting for that all 22 of that because I just want to see that play and see where he's at. But Sam, he better hope he's out of it because like all 22, the only thing about all 22 is I don't know if it covers that far. So that's the one saving grace he might have. Like it doesn't show the entire back end of the field. So he might not come up on film until the end. That's why I cannot wait for that to be up. Two, the guy that announcer was like, and there's a miracle. Like, don't try to steal the miracle thing. Like it was already coined. It was already in Minnesota, but it was a miracle. It was a miracle, and I could not believe it. I don't know. What was your reaction? Because I saw it like after the fact. Like I originally just assumed Bears win, and I picked the Bears. So I know when I was doing the pregame show that morning, I was like, I wanted, I didn't know if Jalen Daniels would play. Not say I don't want him to play, but I'm like, I kind of would be happy if he didn't play. It didn't matter. Like Caleb Williams was terrible, by the way, too. Like his stats were just like, to win that game, that was ugly. That was the Caleb Williams game that everybody thought he'd have all season, but he actually did decently. But yeah, I was shocked when I saw that happen. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, so I think the Vikings would have been in last place if that had not happened at the end. The Bears had won, which is crazy, going from first to last in like a week. But, initially, Ron, I was yelling at Daniels for leaving the throw short. It drives me crazy when quarterbacks don't get the throw to the end zone, and he could have stepped up another 10 yards. The line of scrimmage was the 48, and he threw it at the 35, and I was mad at him when the ball was in the air. Like, dude, get it there. You got to get the ball in the end zone. And, of course, tipped up, caught by Noah Brown, ball game. Ron, I hate to bring this up. You witnessed a Hail Mary, right, against you guys, Northwestern?
Yep, Northwestern, same thing. It was short.
Did you blitz? Did you blitz on that, or
no? They sat back. They gave I think it was Zach Kustok was the quarterback. Gave him a ton of time to throw the ball down, and then it was tipped backwards though, so they did their job. But one of our DBs, we were like, dude, just catch it or bat it straight to the ground, like throw it to the ground, like grab it, throw it to the ground. He bats it back. Damian, I think Williams or Damian something was the running back at the time. He goes, he catches it and runs into the end zone because it went backwards. He caught it. He ran into the end zone. And so I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I know we're not going to lose this way, and we lost that way. And, oh, yeah, by the way, Sam, the All-22 is up for the Bears game. And, because I'm just going to the end because I want to see this. Oh, my goodness. So you can't see him. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you just see 10 guys. You see 10 guys, so you cannot see him. And it's funny, even all the DBs, like the way they're standing around, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're like standing around like this is never going to happen. So yeah, you never see number 29. So that's the one. Nope, that's the play before. Let's see. Here's the next play. Oh, yep. Now you can see. Yep, Sam. I don't know if the person doing the All-22 for the Bears or for whoever loaded this film, maybe the Washington Commanders loaded this film, but they didn't do this guy any justice, Sam. He is on the All-22. And because the previous play, there was a Hail Mary attempt before that. I did not know that because I didn't watch the game. I just saw the last play. So before that, Sam, he was kind of walking up the field like, oh, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 rushers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 defenders. And Sam, it shows him walking back, looking at the crowd, and then the play is going on and he runs and gets in it. Sam, he's going to get absolutely killed when they watch this film today or tomorrow or yesterday even as a team. He already got killed. And then he's going to get killed again when they rewatch it on Wednesday. I feel bad for him because his coach is going to like do this. And he might not embarrass him in front of the team. He might do the like, look, we already know what happened, man. He already apologized to everybody on social media. Let's move on. But in that closed door, it's going to be like, what are you doing? Grow up. Like, this is a football game, and we lost because of you. You just took the play off, and you thought you were better than everybody else. So I'm going to do I'm going to record myself talking about this play and put it up before I head to the PJ Flex show today. So I got to do that. But last one before we get out of here, what you got next?
Last one. All right. Everybody was excited for this big market World Series, Yankees Dodgers, game 1, walk-off grand slam. But it looks like the Dodgers might sweep this thing tonight. They're up 3-0 in the series. Mm-hmm. Ron, has this World Series captured your imagination at all?
Yeah, I've been watching. So my daughters play softball, and so baseball is similar to softball. Softball is just a little bit faster, but I will say playoff baseball and World Series baseball has a little bit more aura to it, as the kids would say. It's probably plus 1 million, 2 million aura. I don't even know what the heck RA really is. I do know what aura is, but I don't know why all of a sudden it becomes a thing that they can just have. But it is super cool to see some of the plays, the Juan Sotos, the Stantons, the Judges struggling. Like, you see the big names struggling. So for my girls to see that and understand, like, look, you might want to be one of the best hitters, but there might be times where you need your teammates to pick you up, and the Yankees just don't have it. And same for the Dodgers. You see Shohei Ohtani just gritting it out with the shoulder, and every swing he's like, this hurts, but I'm gonna keep going for my team. And then Freeman is having himself an absolute week. Like, he is balling out of control. Like, him with the bat above his head with the crowd, like, that's got to be the like best poster that he has to sign all off season. Like, that's going to be the poster. That should be like, if I'm a rich LA person, because we know people do this and they're super petty, I would take out a billboard with Freddie Freeman in New York with his bat up above his head like that, with like world champs or congratulations LA Dodgers world champs, just to make New York mad. Because there's some rich people in LA that might do that, because people do that all the time. They always take out billboards in other states or other cities for their teams, and they make jokes about it. Like, I remember one was like, it was a quarterback or somebody hadn't played well in a while, and somebody took out a billboard that had a picture of the guy as if he was lost. Like, has anybody seen this guy? Call 1-800 we need a quarterback or something. Like, like, people do stuff all the time to troll. So but Freeman, he's having himself an absolute day. And also the pitcher, I forget his name, but he hugs his mom after the game. That was cool. Like, it's just a lot of cool moments to see a mom. You forget, like, this guy's a pro. He's getting paid millions, but his mom is still there, like a mom watching her son play Little League Baseball. And, it's just moments like that you're like, man. And the other one, though, was it? It was the Dodgers' mom. Her son gave up a home run to, I think it was Stanton. They hit it in the first game.
Game one,
Flaherty. He hit an absolute, Flaherty hit an absolute, like, woo, like one of those shots. And they show his mom, and she's just like, and then like the guy next to her, I don't know if that's the family or friend or her boyfriend, whatever, but he does the like, ooh. And then you see the first baseman is like, oh, that's gone. I love those moments. And then for them to still, but then them to still pull it out, win that one, then win the next one. Now the Yankees have to pull off a miracle. And I don't know if they have it in them, to be honest. I think that the Dodgers just have the aura around them. And this is what everybody wanted, was Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge. He didn't get the pitch, but everybody wanted to see this matchup anyway. LA Dodgers, New York Yankees, they got it coast to coast. And it's going to be the Dodgers. I don't know. Have you been captivated by this?
Game one captivated me. One of the great World Series games I've ever seen, and maybe the best finish I've ever seen. Unfortunately, it's maybe not going to be a great series. It might be a sweep. It might be a 5-gamer, and we don't really remember those as being the most epic World Series. But game one, I will remember for the Freeman moment and Ohtani getting his first title. That's pretty cool. No one likes the Dodgers because of how much money they spend. They have unlimited funds, it seems like. But I think there is something likable about their team. I like the way they play baseball, so I respect them for that. I think that it'll be I hope the Yankees can extend it at least to 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to get another game, but I think it's going to get swept. And when you look at that payroll for the Yankees, this is why I hate when this happens, because now you're going to have the Pohlad pocket protectors and the Twins even saying, well, look, we could pay all this money and we still might not win. So, hey, like, let's just be profitable. So I hate that. Like, who cares? Get to a World Series. Spend all your money, get to a World Series and lose it, and you still make money back. You get a ton of merch sold for this. You get a ton of World Series sweatshirts sold for this. Like, everybody's watching this. Free agents want to be a part of your program after this. Like, there's a lot of dudes right now sitting back seeing, what's his name, the third baseman for the Yankees, who was a Marlin and was like 100 losses. Marlins. He goes to the Yankees in the World Series. Like, you start the year off like, yeah, I'm getting ready for vacation. And now you're like, man, I'm in the world. I'm in October baseball. I'm playing October baseball. And I know a lot of people would love for like a little bit of baseball in November. It's not going to happen. This thing is going to end in October. This thing is going to be over before Halloween. I'm pretty sure it's going to be over before Halloween. But because there wasn't supposed to be a game on Halloween, was it? Like, that would have sucked for the kids.
Yeah, I don't think so. Today, game 4, tomorrow, game 5, and then Halloween would be off.
And because then they'd have to travel for 6 and 7.
Travel to game 6.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So, yeah. So, I mean, I could see a 4-5. Again, everybody's gonna say it's rigged if this happens. If the Yankees find a way to win, because this is baseball. This is not basketball, football, where like you just beat down and it's over. You could turn around tomorrow, hit 4 home runs, and is it today they play or tomorrow?
Tonight. Mm-hmm.
Tonight. They could turn around tonight and hit 4 home runs. Bats come alive. All of a sudden, they have a little bit of life. Like, I'd love to see it because I do like that, but also I just want to see the implosion of the New York media when they get swept with all that money they pay for this team. But I'm Ron Johnson. That's it. I'm actually look forward to seeing what the Vikings end up. We'll talk about that next week when we get back. Are they 6-2 or are they 5-3? Please let us know in the comments what you guys think. Just spam the comments. 5-3, 6-2, hashtag Vikings. We'll talk about that as well to kind of get the fan vote. But I'm Ron Johnson. That's Sam Action. Thank you guys. Make sure you subscribe to Locked On Sports Minnesota on YouTube and have a great week.